Good evening, all. Today we'll be starting with the next topic of magnetic field due to electric current. Okay. So, in the next topic, we'll be starting with the Ampere's law. Now, we all know about the distribution of charges. That whenever there is an electric field, the electric field strength can be obtained by inverse square law, right? If the charges are distributed in a plane of paper, then the electric field at a given point we come to know by using the inverse square law. But when I say about the distribution of these charges, it can be in a planar, it can be a spherical, it can be cylindrical. Okay, but with the help of Gauss law, we can calculate the net electric field with a relative case. Okay, but suppose if I want to calculate the magnetic field, okay, if I want to calculate the magnetic field produced by the distribution of current and not the charges, we need to calculate what? The distribution, or we need to obtain the magnetic field. We need to obtain magnetic field due to distribution of current. Okay, so how will I do this? Look over here. So whenever I say about Ampere's law, why actually it is used? It is actually used to know about the magnetic field produced by a distribution of charges. Sorry, not the distribution of charges, distribution of current. Now there is a difference between current and charge. Charge means basically you say that it is at rest. That's what the concept is. And when I say current, so basically it's a charge which is moving, and moving charge generates a magnetic field around it whenever it is moving inside a given conductor. Okay. Now what Ampere's law is used to find is a magnetic field with very easier way compared to that of what we have learned in the Biot and Savart's law. Okay. Now what it says is basically this law is named also in terms of SI unit. So when I say about the Ampere's law, what it says is a closed integral of magnetic field times the Amperian loop is equal to the mu naught times the current enclosed by the loop. Okay. When I say the sign indicates the closed loop, which we call it as Amperian loop. So if you check over here on the left hand side, we have a closed integral. On the left hand side, this is known as closed integral. Okay, closed integral of magnetic field times the loop, area of the loop, which is equal to mu naught times, mu naught का मतलब है magnetic permeability times the current enclosed by the loop. Okay, so the current on the right hand side is a net current enclosed by the Amperian loop. Keep it in mind. The current on the right hand side of this equation is known as the current which is enclosed by the Amperian loop. Okay, so suppose if I say about a current carrying wire, okay, the current is in this direction. So basically let us say that this is nothing but our Amperian loop. So if I say the direction of current, one is I1, second one is I2. Circle with a dot means moving into the plane of paper. Circle with a cross means moving into the plane of paper, and circle with a dot means moving out of the plane of paper. So if I say I1, I2, this is a current which is moving out of the plane of paper, and I3 is a current which is moving into the plane of paper. Now when I say about the loop, so the Amperian loop is enclosing I1, I2 and I3, but it is not enclosing I4. So when I say about the sum of the current enclosed by the Amperian loop, so the sum of the current enclosed by the Amperian loop will be equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Getting it clearly? Okay. And when I say about the direction of magnetic field, so the direction of magnetic field at each point is given by the tangent drawn at that point. So the tangent drawn at that point will make an angle small theta with respect to the length of the Amperian loop. Getting it clearly? Length of the Amperian loop. Okay, so whenever I say ds, so ds is basically a small length of the Amperian loop. Okay, so when I say about this Amperian loop, what happens as the current goes perpendicularly into the plane of paper, the magnetic field is in the plane of paper, even its direction is unknown. So the length of the Amperian loop is dl. Dl means the small length dl on the Amperian loop. Okay, so whenever I say about the integration over a length dl, we get the component of the magnetic field along the length dl. Length dl का मतलब क्या हो जाएगा? This is a small length dl. There are small length dl. ये छोटे छोटे लेंथ है, ठीक है. So if I say about the closed integral of b cos theta into dl, so I'll say it as mu naught into, if I say I1 and I2 are normally outward is positive, so which is moving into the plane is negative. Getting it clearly? So that's how we use the Amperian loop over here. Getting it clearly? So when I say I4, I didn't consider the current I4. Why didn't I consider? Because it was not within the Amperian loop. Getting it clearly? So when I say about the integration over a full loop, so basically what will happen, the contribution of I4 of B will cancel out. Okay, so that is why we don't consider. What are the applications of Ampere's law? It can be used to calculate the magnetic field for a long wire. Okay, so let's consider the first application of Ampere's law, that is to calculate or to find magnetic field at a distance r from a long straight wire carrying current. Okay, so let me consider a long straight wire. This long straight wire is carrying current in the upward direction. Let's say the current is I. If I need to find the magnitude of magnetic field at point P, so what basically I'll do is I need to first consider an Amperian loop. Okay, so this is the Amperian loop which I have considered at a distance of r. Getting it? Now when I say about the small length dl, so the small length dl will be a part of this Amperian loop. So when I say the tangent at the point will give you the direction of magnetic field. So the direction of magnetic field, if I look over here, this length dl is making a very small angle which we call it as d theta. So can I say the same angle will be made by the tangent at the point? So even this small angle will be equal to how much? D theta only. The tangent which the angle which the magnetic field makes with respect to dl. Okay, so now when I apply the Ampere's law over here, what first I'll say is, we'll first say that consider a long straight wire carrying current I. B bar and dl are tangential to the Amperian loop. Now when you consider the Amperian loop, now you need to consider it in such a manner that each and every point, see when I consider this Amperian loop, so each and every point on the Amperian loop is at an equal distance from the straight wire which is carrying current. Okay, so each and every point should be at equidistant. That's something which you have to consider. So when I say about B vector dot dl, dl means the small length of arc. So B dot dl, which we can write it as B into r d theta. Why r d theta? Because if I say a length of the arc, so length of the arc is represented as r into d theta, no? Okay, Getting it clearly? So now when I say about the total magnetic field due to this length of the arc, so here what will happen, when I say about the value of this d theta, the d theta value will be equal to what, the total length of the circle. So basically in order to have an enclosed loop, because when I say about the Ampere's law, so basically what will happen, we will say it as closed integral of B vector dot dl equal to mu naught I. So I is the total current which is enclosed by the Amperian loop. So when I say about the total current, so if I say that the wire is carrying a current of 2 ampere, so the Amperian loop will also be enclosing a current of how much? 2 ampere, because the Ampere loop is outside, is surrounding the straight wire which is carrying current. Okay, so when I say B vector dot integration of dl vector, which is equal to mu naught I. Okay, so B into, now we are taking it terms of magnitude, so length of the vector is r into d theta, that is equal to mu naught I. So when I go for a closed integral का मतलब क्या, total length of the Amperian loop. Now Amperian loop is a circle, so the total angle that will be covered is equal to how much? 2 pi. So the magnetic field is equal to B into R into 2 pi, that is equal to mu naught I. So when I say about the magnetic field, we write it as mu naught I divided by 2 pi R. So mu naught I divided by 2 pi R is the magnitude of the magnetic field which is at a given distance R. Okay, now here if you look, it is inversely proportional. So basically what happens, from the Ampere's law you come to know that the magnetic field of an infinitely long wire carrying current, long wire, is proportional to the current and it is inversely proportional to the distance of the wire. Can I say it like this using Ampere's law? Okay, so what I can say is that, let's say this is our equation number 2 and this is my equation number 1. Oh sorry, this is my equation number 1. Okay, so what we can say is that from equation number 2, what are we going to get? We come to a conclusion that the magnetic field B of an infinitely long wire is proportional to current I, but inversely proportional to the distance from the wire. That means if I increase my distance of the point where I need to calculate the magnetic field, so the strength of the magnetic field will decrease inversely. So if I say that the point P was at a distance of 0.1 meter, so you will say 1 upon 0.1. 1 upon 0.1 means 10. But if I say its distance is 0.2 meter, so what will happen? 1 upon 0.2 will become 10 by 2, that is 5. So basically what is happening, as you are increasing the distance, the value is decreasing. So that's why we call it as inversely proportional to the distance. Distance means basically the value of R. Okay. And what is that R? That R is the distance of the point P where you actually find the magnetic field from the center of the conductor carrying current. And the conductor is a long straight wire carrying current. Okay. So the magnetic field because of the long straight wire at a distance R is given as mu naught I divided by 2 pi R. Okay, that's how we write. Now coming to the second application. The second application is that of a solenoid. So the second application using Ampere's law, that is magnetic field of a solenoid. So what is a solenoid basically? It's nothing but a straight wire which is actually wound in the form of a cylinder. So if I wound a wire in the form of a cylinder, so basically they will be having n turns of circular coil which are basically wound in the form of a cylinder. So basically what will happen, this whole cylindrical column that you observe which has n turns of circular coil, we call it as solenoid. Now basically what happens over here is, why do you take a n turn of circular coil? Why can't you take a straight wire? See, if you take a n turn of circular coil, basically what happens, with 1 ampere of current, if you have 10 turns, so 1 into 10 means 10 ampere. So basically you are actually increasing the current density of a solenoid. Okay, you are actually increasing the current density of a solenoid by not actually increasing the current but by increasing the number of turns. Okay, that's one of the major discussion over here. So if you check over here, what you will come to know is, let's say that when I say about the flow of current, so current जब अंदर से जा रहा है तो बाहर आएगा, फिर वो अंदर जा रहा है, फिर से बाहर आएगा, फिर वो अंदर जाएगा, फिर वो बाहर आ रहा है, फिर अंदर जा रहा है, फिर वो बाहर आ रहा है, फिर वो अंदर जा रहा है. It's coming out, moving in. So basically when I say about the points which are above, on the points which are above, what actually happens is that the current is moving normally out of the plane of paper. Whereas if I say about the points which are below, here if you observe, the current is actually moving into the plane of paper. Getting it clearly? Okay. So basically when I say these points, the above points, you will find that the current is moving normally out of the plane of paper. If I have a cross section of a solenoid, मतलब मैंने solenoid को हाफ सिलेंडर में अगर कट किया तो मुझे पता चलेगा कि अपर पॉइंट में अगर मैं कंसंट्रेट करूँ तो करंट बाहर की तरफ आ रहा है, और अगर मैं लोअर पॉइंट्स की तरफ जाता हूँ, द पॉइंट्स विच आर बिलो, तो मुझे पता चल रहा है कि जो करंट है दैट इज मूविंग नॉर्मली इनटू द प्लेन ऑफ पेपर. गेटिंग इट क्लियरली? So basically what will happen, if I consider this as a straight wire, so basically what will happen over here, there will be magnetic field which is moving around it. Okay, the magnetic field will be actually moving around it. So here if you check the direction of magnetic field, so the direction of magnetic field is coming normally out of the plane of a solenoid. Okay, and this encloses a loop like structure. So basically each and every one of them will be having a loop of magnetic field, but what you actually observe is the strength of the magnetic field is more inside the solenoid. That means if I consider a ring of solenoid, like this, so in this ring of solenoid, the direction of magnetic field, the magnetic field line density is more concentrated within the solenoid. Okay, whereas if you check outside, the magnetic field strength is bare minimum. Okay, getting it clearly? So what we actually do is, we assume that for an n turn of solenoid, okay, wherein we have the magnetic lines of force. So the density of this magnetic lines of force are more within the circular coil. Okay, so if you check over here, more is the density of the coil, more is the density of magnetic field within the coil. So that's why what we do is, whenever we consider an Amperian loop over here, we consider an Amperian loop in such a manner that it is partly within and partly outside the coil. So here, if you check the Amperian loop, let's say the Amperian loop is A, let's say this is the Amperian loop A, B, C, D. Okay, Amperian loop A, B, C, D. It's a form of a rectangle. Okay. So part of the loop is within the magnetic field and part of the loop is outside the magnetic field. Getting it clearly? So how do we go further? Look over here for the explanation. So the first thing is, consider a long closely wound helical coil of a conducting wire. Okay. The density of magnetic field lines along the axis of solenoid within the solenoid and at a certain distance away from wire is uniform. That's what we observe, that is within the solenoid the magnetic field strength is uniform. Okay, and hence they are parallel to each other. Whereas if I say the magnetic lines of force, the magnetic field lines are widely spaced. Outside this solenoid, and hence magnetic field is weak outside the solenoid. Getting it clearly? Okay, just look into the statements. So that's why what we consider is that if I consider the solenoid which we are using as ideal, so basically when I take a loop, so here the loop which we are taking is ABCD is a rectangular loop. So if I consider by application of Ampere's law, let us consider an ideal solenoid. Okay, so when I say the closed integral B vector dot dl vector is mu naught times I. So here the loop that we have considered, the rectangular loop, is having loops from A to B, B vector dot dl, plus B to C, B vector dot dl, plus C to D, B vector dot dl, plus D to A, B vector dot dl, and that's equal to mu naught times the total current. So if you look over here, you will come to know that the loop AB is along the direction of magnetic field. So the magnetic field and the length both are parallel. So B vector dot dl is making an angle of 0 degree. But when I say about the length BC and length DA, the length is perpendicular to the magnetic field. If the length is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the dot product will be 0. क्योंकि डॉट प्रोडक्ट में एक्चुअल में क्या होता है, डॉट प्रोडक्ट में आपके पास कॉस फंक्शन है, and cos theta is 0 when एंगल बिटवीन मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एंड लेंथ वेक्टर. देखो BC मेरा लेंथ वेक्टर है, AD भी मेरा लेंथ वेक्टर है, लेकिन दिस लेंथ इज परपेंडिकुलर टू द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड ना, तो एंगल कितना हो जाएगा 90 डिग्री. सो cos 90 विल बी इक्वल टू 0. सो दैट मीन्स व्हेन आई से क्लोज्ड इंटीग्रल ऑफ BC एंड व्हेन आई से द क्लोज्ड इंटीग्रल ऑफ DA विल बी 0. नेक्स्ट व्हेन आई से अबाउट द क्लोज्ड इंटीग्रल CD में एक्चुअली क्या होता है, इट इज़ आउटसाइड द सोलेनॉइड. So outside the solenoid, the strength of the magnetic field is weak. Since the strength of the magnetic field is weak outside the solenoid, what you consider over here is the B value is 0. Okay? So that means you will get the magnetic field only because of the length AB. Whereas if I say about the length B to C, ये 0 हो जाएगा. C to D भी 0 हो रहा है. C to D 0 क्यों हो रहा है? Because magnetic field 0 हो रहा है. And D2A 0 क्यों हो रहा है? D2A इसके लिए 0 हो रहा है बिकॉज मैग्नेटिक फील्ड एंड लेंथ वेक्टर आर मेकिंग एन एंगल ऑफ 90 डिग्री. गेटिंग इट क्लियरली? दैट मीन्स फॉर द रेक्टेंगुलर लूप BC and DA, the angle theta is 90 degree. So that is why BC, B vector dot DL, which is also equal to DA, B vector dot DL, which we call it as integral of B DL, B DL cos 90. इसके वजह से ये 0 हो जाएगा. समझ गया? Whereas when I say of the rectangular loop में जो आपका पार्ट है A B C C D, so what happens in CD? Magnetic field outside is approximated to be 0. So that is why C to D, B vector dot DL will be equal to 0. Okay, so when I say, so I'll say integral A to B dot DL, I can write it as B into L. What is L? L is known as the length of the loop. Okay, so B into L is equal to mu naught times I. Now this I will be multiplied by N. Why will it multiply with N? What is N basically? N is the number of turns of the solenoidal coil. That means number of turns of the circular loop that we have considered. Okay, getting it clearly? Okay, so we'll multiply it with capital N. Let capital N be the number of turns of the circular coil. N indicates number of turns of circular coil. Okay, so when I say the magnetic field, so magnetic field that we have calculated is along AB. That means it is along the axis of a solenoid. So magnetic field along the axis of a solenoid, I'll get it as mu naught Ni by L. So when I say N by L, what is N by L? Number of turns per unit length, which we write it as mu naught N into I. Getting it clearly? This is known as the magnetic field outside the solenoid. Okay, समझा? Where small n is known as the number of turns. So from this observation, what you come to know is that magnetic field is valid. This result is valid for the ideal solenoid. Getting it clearly? But it is also valid for the realistic solenoid, or you can say the practical solenoids, whichever we consider. And the magnetic field that we have calculated is at the center of the solenoid. That means along the axis. We have not calculated near the ends. Now if you check near the end, at the end section, that is at the ends of the solenoid, if you look over here, the magnetic field density is decreasing. So when I say the magnetic field at the ends of the solenoid, it won't remain the same. Magnetic field at the ends of the solenoid, generally in practice what we consider is it is half. Okay, पहले ये देख लो, ठीक है? So when I say about magnetic field along the axis of a solenoid, we write it as mu naught Ni, where small n is known as the number of turns per unit length. Number of turns per unit length of a solenoid. Okay. Whereas when I say about the magnetic field at the ends of the solenoid, so we can say magnetic field at the ends of the solenoid is half the strength of the magnetic field along the axis. ओके, दैट्स हाउ यू विल कंसिडर. समझा आपको?